What's up, motocross action? I'm Josh Mosiman, and welcome to the MXA race test of the 2021 Yamaha YZ125. For 2021, Yamaha only made updates to the color scheme as the rest of the bike is exactly the same. The front number plate and side panels went from white to blue, and the fork guards are black instead of white. With that, the price tag remains at the same $6,599 retail price. Since 2006, the YZ125 engine and chassis have remained the same, so you might be asking us, why are we still testing this thing? Well, even though the YZ125 hasn't changed much, the riders have. Every year there are new people, new to the sport, new to two-strokes, or new to Yamaha who want to know about the YZ125. Not only do the customers change, but the market changes also. Back in the day, you could not sell a used two-stroke in the early days of the four-stroke explosion. Today, the Yamaha YZ125 sell at a premium price. So even if Yamaha has hit the repeat button for the last 15 years, there's still a story to be told about this legendary bike that is still considered competitive in many aspects to this day. We might not give Yamaha much credit for updating their YZ125, but over those years, refinements have actually been made. The Kayaba SSS units have been updated, and the Yamaha has given the YZ125 oversized bars, improved brakes, updated jetting, and a few facelifts along the way. Sure, we do get frustrated that the YZ125 is underpowered by its competition, but Yamaha is the only Japanese manufacturer that didn't give up on two-strokes. We will admit that every MXA test rider loves riding the YZ125, although they all hate racing it. At 33 horsepower, it is at a huge disadvantage to its competition, the KTM 125SX, which comes in at 37 horsepower at peak. We will give the YZ125 some street cred as it offers more power than the 125SX from idle to 7,800 RPM. In a nutshell, the Yamaha gets up to speed quickly, but then flattens out at the exact point where the KTM is just getting started. If you're wondering what mods you should make to your YZ125, here are a few things to consider. Cylinder porting. Optimum YZ125 power comes from porting a cylinder and raising the compression. If you raise the compression, you'll have to run race gas, and running race gas costs a lot of money by the lap, but you can have your YZ125 ported and tuned to pump gas. One caveat about porting a YZ125 is if your local hop-up artist is planning to port the cylinder without milling the base, you need to go find a new porter. The stock YZ125 ports are too high to make much of a difference by just grinding on them. It is necessary to mill the base of the cylinder to bring the port height down so it can be effectively raised, and of course the cylinder head has to be re-chamfered to give the piston more room on the upstroke. If you don't lower the cylinder and mill the head, you probably shouldn't waste your time porting your YZ125. Next up, gearing. If you hop up your YZ125 engine, you should leave the gearing at the stock 13:50 ratio, but if you run the engine stock, you should add a tooth to the rear sprocket to increase drive out of the corners and make third gear more accessible. It also should be noted that Ryan Villapoto runs 2 teeth more on his rear sprocket, and sometimes even more than that, to give his full race Pro Circuit YZ125 more pull out of the corners. Next up, pipe. The typical YZ125 pipe and silencer from Pro Circuit or FMF, HGS, or Scalvini can add around 2 horsepower, but not all pipes are alike. We tested 2 different Pro Circuit YZ125s for this test. The first pipe was off-the-shelf Pro Circuit pipe, the most popular one that they sell. It was actually much better than stock as expected, and it really shined at high RPM. Where the stock pipe faltered, the Pro Circuit pipe excelled. On the big, fast track, every test rider preferred the basic Pro Circuit pipe. The next pipe that we tested was the Pro Circuit Special Edition YZ125 RV pipe. It was the pipe that Ryan Villapoto used when he was winning the AMA National 125 All-Star races. The YZ125 RV pipe was much stronger off the bottom and through the middle, but it wasn't as silky smooth as the Pro Circuit's basic rack pipe, but it laid waste to loamy dirt, tight tracks, short jump run-ups, and corner exits. Next up, should you upgrade the reed cage? Quick answer, yes. Run a Boyson rad valve if you're trying to enhance the mid and up power, because Boyson's tuned intake track maximizes airflow into the carb. But if you're looking for a stronger and cleaner mid-range, go with the Mototassinari V-Force 4 reed cage to broaden the power. Next up, Flywheel Weights. The YZ125s and the EMX 125 series in Europe, Ryan Villapoto's Pro Circuit YZ125, and MXA's World 2-Stroke YZ125 all run flywheel weights. Yeah, it sounds wrong to put a flywheel weight on a YZ125, but it gives the power band a fuller feeling, and the added weight carries over to the top end for more over rev. The only power is that all of these flywheel weights are a Europe-only part from the GYTR YZ125 high performance engine kit. You can get them in the USA, but only from American dealers and hop-up shops that order them from European dealers and then upcharge American buyers for a couple $100s. If we think logically about the YZ125, the KTM 125 costs $700 more than the YZ125, but the KTM has stronger brakes, updated handling, a hydraulic clutch, great shifting, more horsepower, and a chromoly steel chassis. You aren't going to make your YZ125 as modern as a KTM 125 for only $700. A comparable clutch to KTM's Belleville washer design will cost you $1,200, and to get a YZ125 up to the KTM's 37.5 horsepower, it'll cost at least $1,000. The benefit of the 2021 Yamaha YZ125 and all of the YZ125 models that have come down the assembly line since 2006 is that you don't need to spend money on suspension, wheels, titanium, graphics, or any unnecessary parts. It's a fun bike to ride and a fun bike to own. If you feel compelled to spend your money upgrading your YZ125, spend it on the engine. In all honesty, the YZ125 is what motocross bikes should be like. It's light, agile, has good handling, is novice friendly, supremely tunable, reliable, easy to work on, and blessed with a ton of hop-up opportunities. Plus, you can buy a used YZ125 and make it look brand new for a lot less than $6,599. As always, MXA Wrecking Crew knows that the KTM 125 is stronger, lighter, faster, and a better overall race bike, and we've said that multiple times, but the Yamaha YZ125 is still a blast to ride. We still see tons of them at the tracks, and especially online when people are looking to buy, sell, trade. YZ125s are super popular, so MXA Wrecking Crew, we thank Yamaha for continuing to produce Yamaha YZ125s and for giving us the opportunity to continue testing these bikes. They're still a blast to ride and we still love riding them all the time. But that's all for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in to the 2021 Yamaha YZ125 first ride video. Yeah, since we've been riding this bike for about 15 years right now, it's not really much of a first ride video because it's exactly the same, but we still really appreciate this bike. And if you know MXA, you know that we're going to be spending a lot more time on this bike, and you can check out more information on it in a future issue of Motocross Action magazine. Check out motocrossactionmag.com for the full history on the YZ125 and lots of project bike ideas to inspire you to build your own Yamaha YZ125 project bike.